Hi guys, welcome back to Cupcakes and Protein Shakes. I am your host, Savana Sharp. So we're doing another segment of Bikini Girl Chit Chat. So I have a fellow bikini competitor and I'm going to interview you today. We're going to get a little bit more about your journey and get to know you. So introduce yourself, your name, your age, and where you're from.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Nicole Bonnen. I am 28 years old and I'm from New York.
Okay, awesome. Well, okay, so this is really a fun episode too, because I just like to talk about like your journey. And so where did your journey start? Like when did you start getting interested in bodybuilding?
I was a quarantine bodybuilding.
Okay.
So yeah, it all stirred up then, but I did have the thoughts of doing it since 2014.
Okay.
My brother used to compete, so I always used to go to his shows and I always had that like interest in me. I was like, one day. And then obviously quarantine happens, and what a better time to really just dive in on something and really put all your focus into it than that time. So I started with some home workouts and I found coaches and it just all spiraled from there.
Okay, so we started our journey in 2020. What was your fitness background before bodybuilding? Did you ever do sports growing up?
Yeah, so in high school, I did, well, my whole life I played soccer. And
Okay.
then in high school, I played soccer, dance, lacrosse, track. And then out of high school, no longer sports, but then I did more of like going to the gym and trying to just learn myself. And then I had my brother who I followed a lot. So I did some bodybuilding, then I switched over, I did CrossFit, and then I switched back to bodybuilding.
Okay. And then did you coach yourself or did you find someone to help you?
I've had coaches for all three preps. So I'm in my third prep now,
Okay.
and all three have been different coaches.
Okay. Who have you trained with?
So my first one was Bear Aesthetics with Dylan Bear. Second one was Kim Otto.
Okay.
And third is now Team Atlas.
Okay. So you've had like the best of the best. So you've kind of got some tips and tricks from all of the best, which is super exciting. So let's talk about our first prep. So for your first prep, like what did that look like for you?
Well, I mean, the first prep, it's hard because you really, I knew nothing about it really. So I was just, whatever my coach told me, I'm just taking in. But it's obviously a really big learning process. And my first prep was macros, which I didn't know beforehand. So that was a little tricky for me because I needed a little bit more guidance with the macros at that time. Because I was like, oh, macros, cool, I can put whatever in. But I think, and now I have I actually just made a video on this. My personal opinion for bikini, I prefer meal plan.
Okay.
For everyday life, macros is fine because
Yeah.
more of like a balance and not restricted. But like for bikini, I think you need to eat certain types of foods. I don't think you can just throw whatever in there to properly grow.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So that, I mean, my first prep, it was really fun, but it was also very challenging. But I would say mostly fun to see what my body could do.
Yeah.
It was the first time I ever got abs in my life. And you notice that it's all nutrition from
Yes.
abs.
Yeah.
Before I'm like, I'm working out 6 days a week. I don't have abs, and it's because I was eating whenever I wanted. And then once you have like a consistent plan and you're cutting properly, and not like just like a fast cut and then eat what you want, it was just like consistent. So I was like, okay, this is how you do it. And then of course the next show you get better, and then the next show you get better.
Yeah. So what show was your first one?
My first show was, since it was 2020 quarantine, New York didn't have any shows. So I went all the way to Arizona.
Yeah.
I went to the Megatron in November 2020.
And how did you place? How'd you do?
I got only 4th place in True Novice.
Did you compete in open?
I did.
Okay. Okay.
So I didn't do so well. And I told myself, oh, I'm just going to do this once. I want to try it. But then obviously I was like, okay, wait, no, I can do better than that. So then I went back into another prep and I competed April of 2021.
Okay.
I did the Bev show. Do you know Bev's gym?
Yep. Yeah.
That's my home gym.
Oh, nice.
So I competed at their Metropolitan in April. And then there was I took home first open, first novice, overall.
Congratulations. It's super exciting. Yeah. So a lot of times it happens too. It's like just your first show is your worst show. And I always believe this for everybody. I think it is first show is worst show. And then every single show after is improved. Even if placing is kind of like up in the air, like you kind of like just experience it and you're there and you're like, okay, I understand. Like, I understand it now. It's really hard to explain to like someone who's never competed what like the show day experience unless you just do it. You have to just do it, you know? Yeah. So you must have gotten hooked after your first one. So, so what, did you ever have like stage fright, like before you were going to step on stage?
So it's really funny because in high school, or like my whole life, I've always been known as like that shy girl and like super quiet. And like, I don't think anyone would ever picture me being on stage, especially like in a bathing suit.
Right.
But for, I guess like bikini has been something for me that to like bring me out of my shell. And I had like zero stage fright. I don't know, it's because like I just like don't see the audience or care who's there, but like I feel like it's really brought me out of my shell. I'm like, now I could pose in front of anyone.
Yeah. I'm the same way too. So like before I became into this lifestyle, I would have never like catch me dead on any type of stage, any performance, any like a little tiny bikini in front of everyone. But when you're on stage, you really can't see the audience that well. Or like, I mean, you can kind of see like, it's like blurred faces almost, but the adrenaline's so high and like the lights are hitting your eyes and your brain is like, what's going on? Like you're just trying to focus in the moment of like, let's suck it in. And so it's like, you really can't even like see the audience. You can kind of scan their faces a little bit, but it's so fast that you can't even tell.
It happens so fast. Like you're up there like 30 seconds and you have to keep your eyes on the judges the whole time anyway.
Yeah.
Like you can see, you're not supposed to look around, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Okay. So for your second prep, what changed? Like what was the biggest difference between, you know, your first show to the second show that you were able to improve and then bring it like a package that was worthy of an overall title?
Okay, well, a few things. So first off, in the first show, I did like half my prep home gym.
Yeah.
And I felt I didn't really have like the most benefit from that. Like, of course I was working out, but it was just so different once the gyms opened and I was able to do that. So that's one thing. Second, I would say the meal plan, because I was eating the same thing every day on the second prep. The first one, I was like dabbling here and there. I would like throw in a bagel. Like I didn't have the right nutrition. And also with macros, I wasn't being consistent every day. So it wasn't, I don't feel like I had a full prep. So I would say training, meal plan, and then also just my mindset, you know, like I realized what it takes. I knew what the first competition was like. So I was like, okay, now I know what to expect. Yeah. And you just, I don't know, I got better with it.
Yeah. It's just like, I think once you get to show day, you'll realize like, I think I could have worked harder. And it doesn't happen until you get really off stage, I feel like. And then you see your stage shots and you're like, wait a minute. I feel like there was days maybe I didn't give my 100% and I could have. And then you're like, dang, I really like when you're actually at a show day and you're like, I want to win really bad. And so I think that fuels the next prep and the next prep. If you missed a win, it's like, what could I have done to push myself over the edge to get that win?
Oh no, exactly. I don't know. Like I feel like some people, they get so hooked, and then some people can actually just do one and they're like, nah, not for me.
It's true. It's true. Like it's why it's good if you're thinking about doing it, at least to do one and decide, is this for you or if it's not? Because you'll know after you step off stage for your first time if it is for you or if it's not. You really will.
So sorry.
It's okay. Come here.
Sorry.
It's okay. So here, I'll show you my dog. He wanted to come say hi.
So cute.
So they're having fun. This is Blue. Yeah.
Aw,
So he wanted to say hi too.
hi, Blue.
Yeah. So he's gonna go play over there. Okay. But I have dogs too, so I understand. But anyway, so yeah, so like after you step off stage, you're gonna either know if it's for you or if it's not for you, like 100%. And if there's any doubt in your mind, if you get off stage and you're like, well, maybe I should try again. If you don't really truly love it, it's really hard for me to believe that you're gonna fall in love with it. If like you really struggled with the diet and you really struggle, like if you don't like the training and the diet and all of like the show day glam and fun, it's gonna be really hard to keep doing this like forever, honestly. Like, so
That's the thing. I feel like you have to love every part of it, like the hard parts, the glam parts, like you're saying.
yeah, for sure. Okay. And then let's talk about the last prep. So going from show 2 to show 3. So when was your last show?
No, I'm actually in a prep right now. This is
Oh,
my
you said
third-
you did 3. Oh, this is your third prep.
in my third prep.
So
Yeah,
we've done 2 shows and then this is third prep.
third prep. Yes.
Okay. So what's happening now? So what happened since you stepped off stage?
So last year I stepped off stage. I was gonna go to my next national show in, what show was that? In October? Do you know which one that was?
Probably North Americans.
One of those, yeah.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in it the same way. So I felt like and I also didn't want to rush it. So I was like, I don't want to be one of those girls that just like gets qualified and you just go rush it. So I was like, okay, wait, no, I think I need to take a break. So I did. I was able to get some more food in me and stop dieting because I was since January. And that would be a long time to go from January all the way to the end of the year.
Yeah.
So, and like, I don't know, it was just a lot. And at that time, like I was going through something with my dog. My dog had passed away. So I was just like, not a good time. So I took off a much needed break, and I think it was for the best because then I actually ended up getting surgery.
What kind of surgery?
The boobies.
Okay, the good kind of surgery. I thought that's where we were going. So do you feel comfortable like sharing your journey about that? Because I have a lot of people that want to know the deets.
Well, yeah, I
Okay.
am. Actually, I haven't shared anything on my page. I feel like people
Oh,
just see it.
yeah.
You know,
Okay,
it's like I never
okay.
try it because it's obvious, but
Right. It's like, what happened? Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. So the biggest questions that I get is, you go over the muscle and under the muscle, and why?
over because I mean, I spoke about it with the doctor and he said for what I'm doing, since I work out a lot, that it's better to go over because
Yep.
it won't move as much.
Okay, and then how many cc's did you end up going with?
That I forgot. I want to say it was honestly small. And
Okay.
I it was bigger. I might go
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. No, same
Especially
thing.
when I'm cutting. I'm like, excuse me, what happened?
Yeah, no, like, okay, so I got mine done in 2018 and I was semi-stage lean. I was like 4 weeks post-show when I got mine done. But I was also really small. Like I didn't have a lot of size. And so like, as my lats and upper body started to grow, I feel like they look pretty small. And I'm like, gosh, dang it. Like, I thought I was like spot on I feel like they were perfect proportion for the size I was, but then I kept growing. I'm like, now we're back to square one. I'm like,
It's
you
so weird.
know, but like, so what was the decision? Like, what was the thought process behind it? Like, why did you want to get it done?
I felt like I needed it. I felt like very petite up top. Like when I
Yeah.
would do reps, I would go like a boy, you
Yeah.
know, like I didn't have slightly anything. So it was just like
Yeah.
it would make me feel more womanly. And obviously, of course, for the sport of bikini, you need it. I mean, you don't need it. You don't need it. But I think it definitely helps to like fill in your shape.
I know everyone says you don't need it, but it's like, I think it's weird because it's like everyone has it, like almost everybody. It's like there's always that one exception to the
I know,
rule.
I know.
And it's like, oh, you don't need it, but everyone has it. So if you're thinking about doing it, it's like wink,
Absolutely.
wink, like, hey, it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt if you had a little more up top, but if you don't want it, it's fine. Okay, so what about recovery? So like, how was your recovery? How much time did you take off? Like, what did your upper body strength look like?
Recovery. I think I took maybe like only like I don't even have to remember. I want to say like 3-4 weeks from the gym.
Yeah.
But like upper body, maybe like 2 months.
Yeah.
I was pretty scared to do upper body because I was like scared that they would like pop or like move. I don't know. So it took me a while to go overhead, but I would like do like dumbbell curl, like I could do things that weren't gonna like stretch this.
Yeah.
It was very hard for me to do things just like around the house, like shower and
Yeah.
but as long as I could do legs and glutes, I was good.
Yeah. I think I took like 6 weeks off of upper body, but then I trained legs. Like I'm sure I trained like light legs that week, but just, you don't realize how your grip is like your chest, like when you grip things, like literally just like holding stuff or like putting in a ponytail, like that movement, you're like,
or driving.
Yeah, holding things and stuff, because you don't realize how much like your kind of like chest muscles are involved.
Everything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, is there any other like advice that you'd have for girls that are going through that journey or like wanting to get it done?
I think everyone should do what they feel comfortable doing for themselves. I don't think you should think about like judgment of other people or what do people think of me if I get this surgery. I also think that you need to think about what's for yourself and not compare yourself like, oh, I need it because she has it, or what else? And find a good doctor, of course.
Yes.
I don't always think going the cheapest route is the best route.
Correct. Yes.
Because you can pay for that in the long run when you need to redo them. And take recovery serious. You don't want to ruin it. And yeah, I guess that's it. Also, I don't know. Like I said, I wish I went bigger.
Yeah, always. Like they always will tell you you're gonna probably want to go bigger. And
I'm kind of annoyed with my doctor because I told him I wanted one size, and he's like, "We went a little smaller because we thought it didn't look right for your body." And I was like,
that's so annoying.
Kind of not your place.
Right. Well, so I didn't say how many sizes I want. I showed pictures of like, I want this and I do not want this. And I showed a ton of pictures. It was like, if I look like this, I will be pissed. I was like, don't make me look like this. I want this. I want to be athletic still. I was like, I still need to be able to like work out and function and not like cross a line, it's like I want it to be in proportion. So I said, whatever sizes you need, I was like, I don't really care what the number is, but just make it look like this picture.
It's funny you say that. You're like, I need to work out. No, I see some bikini athletes, like top ones, they have like huge boobs.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do it?
Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm like, mine are pretty like not in the way anymore. And so I have full range of motion, and it didn't inhibit my like upper body strength, but I did that. I think that 2018, I did take that year off, and then I started prep in 2019.
Okay.
But
yeah, so I got it in November, and then I started my prep January.
Okay. Yeah. So it didn't really affect your prep, really. No. Awesome. Okay. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about training and feedback. So what was feedback from your first show?
My first show, honestly, I didn't even get feedback because I felt like I don't know. I was like so overwhelmed with everything. I wasn't even thinking like, okay, what's next?
Right.
So I didn't get feedback then. But the second show, I know the head judge from the gym. So I was able to go to him at the gym and ask. And he told me to continue what I'm doing, get more conditioned, but not too hard.
Okay. So what did you change anything about your training routine?
My training routine. I changed my coach. So with that, he does things differently. Like food wise, like I think Team Atlas versus where I was, he likes to get his girls ready a lot earlier. Which also I don't know if you know this, but like Team Atlas and your team, I feel like they're very close.
Yeah.
But like I watch interviews of them talking together, and they do things pretty similar. But it's harder. And I feel like people see me and they're like, you're still this many weeks out. Like, I feel like you're already like cutting. And I'm like, well, that's with my team.
Yeah. No, the same thing. Like because every team does it differently. And so like, I feel like I got very lean, like pretty early. So we were trying to target like 2 to 4 weeks ahead of show, like to be like stage ready, like be ready, just so then we have time to like, kind of fill out any plateau weeks, stuff like that. And just so you're like super, super ready. Cause I think the worst thing that I've ever done was in 2020, my COVID prep was chasing stage conditioning up until like peak week, like still doing like a super aggressive cardio and still dieting like super, super, super hard. And then in peak week, we were having to like do all sorts of like magic tricks with water and like all this stuff. And it's just like, if I just would have gotten ready early, it would have been so much easier.
That's the thing. And I think that's why they do it, so that they can like reverse you into the show and
Yep.
be able to like play around with certain things. Do you need like a food bump? Do you need less fat? Like if you wait it all last minute, you don't know what to do.
Exactly. Yeah. So I like both of our teams. Like
I like it better like this, honestly.
I do too.
It makes me feel better.
It makes me feel better too, because I feel like it's hard. Like I feel like sometimes I see some athletes and I'm like, how are you into prep? I'm like, how are your calories that high? Like, how are your macros that high? And how is your cardio like that low? And I'm like, maybe it's just my metabolism, but I feel like I always have to do a ton of cardio and eat very, very low calories. So
I know, but you know what I noticed, and like I've done that too, but like I really try not to think about like, how is she eating this? How is she?
oh yeah.
But like you realize, because like, so I did that with one girl and I was like, why is she eating ground beef? And
I know. I know. It's not fair, right?
She's like super tall, super skinny. She probably has like the fastest metabolism.
Yeah.
And they were like talking on their interview about ectomorphs and like how you could give them all the calories and they'll still burn it.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I can't compare. I have a different body type.
Exactly. Same. I'm like, okay, I was really good in my off season. And I was like, surely my prep is going to be one of those magical preps, and that was not the case. It was
2,000
still
calories.
right. Oh, a dream. But then if you think about it, it's like, well, it's not like it's like hamburgers and donuts. It's still like a lot of healthy food. So, it's always relative,
I don't mind it though.
Okay. So I have a question for you. What is your goal in this sport?
Well, my goal, so also this third prep, I'm going to Universe. I don't know if I
Okay.
mentioned.
So
Universe in July. Currently 11 weeks out.
Awesome.
And my goal is to get my pro card.
Yes.
I don't think you should go to a national show without that as your goal.
I agree.
Because I think I feel like if that's not your goal going into a national show, you should just be competing local.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So yeah, that's my goal there. And from there, we see what happens.
Okay. So this will be your first national show?
Yes.
Okay. Exciting. So the first national show is really, really fun. I was so freaking nervous for it. I don't know why, because it's like you care so much. And like, there's just like, you put this high importance of like working towards a goal, like super, super hard. And you just want to be extra ready. And it's really eye-opening seeing how many girls are in shape at nationals. It is wild, where I'm like, where are all these competitors at? It's like where are they at? They come from all over, and you're like 300, 400 girls that just look like fitness supermodels. You're like, what the heck, So I always when I went to nationals, it was the most eye-opening experience that you could ever have, because then you realize, okay, there's not just a few girls going after this pro guard. There's hundreds of thousands of girls trying to get the same goal.
Yeah, I spoke to Steve from the gym, and I was like, do you think Universe is going to be big? He's like, oh yeah.
all the national shows this year will be like capacity. I truly believe that.
Easy.
I think that's going to happen because I think the qualifications this year are going back to top 2. So it will be more competitive. And so the pros that are coming out of this year will probably, in my opinion, be some of the top quality of pros, because they took the COVID top 5 rules out. So now it has to be, you have to get the top 2 at a regional show in order to qualify. So I don't think you might think that might like limit the amount of competitors, but I think it's going to actually increase it because it is going to be more competitive.
So that means, so I know that they changed that for this year. That means that everyone, so let's say someone got like third and they qualified, they thought last year, that means that their qualification got taken away, right?
I have to look at the official rules, but so I'm pretty sure it's, if you got top 5 last year at nationals in 2021, you're qualified for this year. And then I don't know how that works because if it was like last year, because usually your qualification is valid for a calendar year. But I don't know if that calendar year is from the date you stepped on stage. So like if you competed May 2021, I don't know if it extends to May 2022 or if it ends at once the year turns.
No, I think it's May to May.
May to May.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
No, but what I'm wondering is the local level. Like,
Yeah.
you know how it was like top 5 was qualified for nationals. I'm saying, does their qualification be taken away?
I don't know. I would doubt it. I feel like they still would want them to compete, but I think like going forward this year, it's going to be only top 2. Because I feel like someone showed up and I don't know if they would like, how would anyone verify it, you know?
Yeah.
I think when you,
Yeah, I think that's right.
I think when you turn in your, like your show fee, you have to put the show that you qualified at. So maybe, I don't know. I would just ask the promoter.
I haven't like signed up or anything yet, so I don't know how that works, but
I don't either.
Overall, I know that I qualified for 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're fine. You don't have to worry then. That's good.
But I'm hoping that I don't have to go 2 years.
I am hoping so too. So are you planning to target multiple national shows if like and just kind of like keep running the circuit?
So, I mean, I think we're gonna keep open minds going like every week, like kind of decide where we're at. But I was thinking of doing junior nats.
Yeah.
June 18th, but then I was like, I don't know if that's worth it. It's 2 weeks before. I would have to travel to Nashville and like do the hotel and all that. That's a lot of money. Versus Universe is right here in New Jersey. I just drive there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it, and it's like a lot of money, and I don't know. 2 weeks is kind of like very close anyway.
It is.
But after that, what's after Universe?
USA's.
Is that August or?
It's the end of July.
End of July. Oh, wait. Is that in Vegas?
Yeah,
I was thinking of doing that one, July 30th, just because I would love to go to Vegas.
Yes, exactly. So I know I'll be there, I think, as a spectator.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you guys. I got second. I'm kind of pissed about it, but it's okay. So I was gonna do junior USA's, but we're gonna push it until NPC Nationals in December.
Okay, that's fun.
I gotta grow glutes, so we're growing glutes.
So I believe you how many weeks is that?
32 now.
32. Okay.
Yeah. So
well, now you have your carb bump.
I do have a carb dump, which is awesome. What other advice? So like, I really want to get into your mindset, because you said that your mindset changed. So like, what helped you to get your mindset right?
Let's see. I just feel like I changed the way that I view. I feel like last year I had a little bit of a down, like I didn't view bikini. I had like a little pause where I was like, I don't know if I like this. I don't like the fact that like you have to diet so hard. You have to like go on stage comparing against other girls to like prove you're enough, you know. I kind of went back and forth with that, and I feel like it's normal, you know.
Yeah, it is.
And I still have that in the back of my mind, but I feel like now I view it in a different way of like, this is a goal that I'm setting for myself. I'm working hard for it every day. I'm challenging myself. It's only temporary. It's not a lifestyle to live, because I don't think it's a healthy lifestyle. And like, I would like, people ask me what I'm doing, my diet, my training, because they want to copy it. And I'm like, it's not for you.
Exactly.
Unless you want to do bikini, then you have to do your own, because you and I are not the same. And I feel like that's really important. And I really try to like just constantly repeat that because I have like to my followers, to my friends, to my families.
Yeah.
Because I never want anyone to get the wrong idea of like, oh, she lost weight like this. This is how I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot that goes into it, and it's not just like we did like a fad diet. We do these long preps where every week, or not every week, but like every few weeks, you're slowly cutting calories and like bumping this up and eating a lot of protein. Like there's like a science behind it. So it's not just like, oh, we're not eating carbs.
Right.
We don't start off like that. So I don't know. It's hard to like be able to showcase that to people and them not understand truly every part of it. You know?
It's been a challenge for me too, because I know that when you post our journey online, it attracts every type of life. So whether it's like general weight loss, who's, asking you these questions, or it's other new competitors, because as a new competitor, you're kind of like trying to figure out if what your protocol is right, and you start seeing everyone else's. And so like, that's what I realized is like, whatever someone else is doing's plan does not affect my plan. It shouldn't. It should never be like, well, if they're doing this, I should do this. Like that's, unless you guys are literally the same, like if you have even if you had a twin, like you guys wouldn't even have the same plan. Like maybe it would be very similar, but like your lifestyle, how many steps, your job, like your stress level, your sleep, like every little thing about you is it's so specific when you are trying to do bodybuilding, because it has to be like, this sport requires like way more than just a general diet. Like a lifestyle diet versus a competitor diet is night and day difference. And the level of adherence that's expected from a bodybuilder is 100,000 times more strict than someone that's just trying to lose a couple of pounds for vacation. So yeah, it's really hard to kind of, especially for friends and family who know you as the person who you were before, and they kind of don't get it, but it's really hard to communicate that to them.
Well, that's another thing, like with family. I feel like my family is very supportive of everything I do, but I don't know. I mean, my brother obviously gets it. He's done it, but he's a guy, and I feel like it's different for them to view a girl doing it. Because I guess with guys, you're like, oh, he's just getting shredded. But then for a girl doing it, it's like, why are you so skinny?
Exactly.
But so my family actually all lives in Florida, but normally I go visit them like every month, but I'm like, I'm not gonna see you guys till after my show, because right now I'm like dieting super hard. I don't need you to be like, that's all you're eating. Like, why not gym that long,
I know.
So sometimes like I realize that to do something like this, you kind of need isolation.
Yes.
I think it's healthy to still see friends and family, but then it's also, you're gonna need isolation. Like you're gonna have to do some work alone. You're gonna have to have nights alone. Like, I don't know. I just feel like you need it, but it's only temporary. So it's not like you're gonna live your life like this and never go out and see friends, because you obviously need that socialization. But I think if your friends understand, they'll be there for you after.
Yeah, it's especially for like targeting a national show and a pro card. Like I really started to realize like how much a prep takes a physical toll on your energy and your personality. Like I really don't like my family to necessarily see me when I'm super low energy and like my friends, because I don't want them to feel like that is who I am anymore, because like I'm still this bubbly person that they knew, but it's just like we're low carb, we're high cardio, so like that personality is a lot different, and maybe a little snappy, a little hangry, a little short with people, and like I just don't want them to have that. Yeah, I don't want them to be like, gosh, you're such a bitch. Like I don't want them to think that. So I understand like sometimes maybe it's not okay for us to hang out if it's past like 2 p.m.
I know. Me, I'm not the morning person. So I feel bad because my boyfriend actually has to deal with it. He's actually competing too for his first show. I rubbed off on him. He's like very interested in it now. He works at Bev's. He's gonna do his show in June. But he's at a local level. I mean, he still has very low carbs, and he's his cardio is not nearly where mine is, but like I have like crazy cardio right now.
What are you
like,
at?
Hour and a half.
Okay, it's not bad. Okay, I've seen worse.
But like super low calories, and I just have like I have no carbs for like a few meals. So my energy is like I'm shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I'm dying sometimes. Like I'm like dragging, like I just want to like melt. So like I don't have energy to just be like, like you were saying, like my bubbly self and like kind, loving.
Right. I know.
I'm like, I'm very irritable. I don't mean to be, and I honestly like I feel really bad, but I just keep trying to like explain. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's because it's in the car.
I know and I feel my boyfriend has done the same thing, and I feel so bad because sometimes I'll say stuff and I'll be like, ooh, that sounded really mean. It's like, like when I said it in my head, it didn't sound as bad as when I heard it after I said it, but it's too late. I'm like, well, it is what it is. Like sometimes I won't even realize that you're doing it, because like a lot of times you have like, I feel like your body just makes your responses like one words, like, yeah, no, okay, yeah, yeah, yes. It's like, that's all you have to give, or like, and you're just like, I'm barely awake right now. It's okay. But that's a part of the sport. It's hard. So like, what do you
though? I wish I wasn't like that, but I can't help it.
Yeah. Well, what do you do on hard days? So like, how do you deal with hunger and tiredness? Like what gets you like to keep pushing?
So I've never liked coffee or any caffeine before, but I've been onto that now. Like I've always been so caffeine sensitive. Like I could never drink any coffee or energy drinks because I would get like so like jittery and feel like I'm having a heart attack. But I've been drinking C4 lately. I've been drinking coffee lately. I've been taking pre-workout. I've been doing the EAAs, like the slushies.
Yep.
And I just honestly, I just really try to keep busy.
Yes.
I'm like, let me work, let me do something, because like, as long as I'm not thinking about food, then I'm good.
What do you do for work?
I'm actually an online coach and personal trainer.
Okay. How many clients do you have?
I have probably like, I have so many different ones. I have like 8 and 7 in person. I have like probably like 15 to 20 online. And then I also do like a monthly app. Yeah. Oh, and I also just started doing bikini coaching.
Oh, nice. How many competitors do you have?
Pures, of course.
Yeah.
So far I just have 3, but that's a good start.
That's exciting. Okay. So how is it like, how is that journey to being on the opposite side of like the one putting the protocols in place?
It's so fun because all of these girls, it's their first shows. So I feel like it's so exciting I'm like so excited for them.
Yeah.
So, and they're honestly all doing great. And I honestly prefer bikini competition over, I don't want to say I prefer it over the lifestyle, because lifestyle is fun too, but it's just, the difference for me is that the bikini girls, they take it seriously and they're going to follow to the T, versus like the lifestyle ones like, oops, I cheated.
I know. I know. Oh my gosh. I've experienced the same thing too. It's like, if you follow this, it will work. And they're like, well, okay, I did this and, I slept up a little bit here, but like, like what can we do to like really like progress it? Like, is there like a supplement out there? Or like, what do you think if I like started taking this? It's like, here is your plan. You didn't follow it. We're going to go back to this plan. When you follow it, maybe we could add something extra, but it's like, just follow it. It's so simple. It's so simple.
But that's why it's like fun to do bikini, because like they want to do that, you're not forcing anyone, like,
yes.
And I just think so different. And that's why like you see bikini coaches have like these crazy transformations.
Yes.
Versus like me trying to get transformations with the other girls. I'm like, wait, hold on.
I know.
you're not following your plan.
Yeah. Well, I do think like the bikini competitors, I love it because then it's like, okay, you see the hard work and then it's addicting. It's like when you first start, you're like, okay, I followed it 1 week and we saw 1 pound. Like,
Exactly.
let's repeat it. Like, and then that like success of like, okay, I had a plan, I executed it 100% and I got the outcome we were planning. And so it gets addicting. So like each week I'm like, if I follow it even better, like how can I even be better and perfect, more perfect? Like, let me do extra and more and more and more and more. And then you see every single week you see this progress. And then by the time you get to show day, you're like, holy cow, looky here. I got abs. And like, whose body is this? Like, it's so exciting.
Seriously, is addicting.
It is. It super is. So what
Yeah,
is your,
I'm even addicted to seeing like my own check-ins. I'm like, every time I do a check-in, I look back at my first picture. I'm like, okay,
yep.
side by side, I'm doing good.
Yeah. And I think that's what I've done too, is like, I really am like super critical now of my like check-in pictures and I like it. So sometimes I'll even have to chop my head off. So I'm like, so I don't think it's myself. I'm like, if I was looking at it as like a new person, like what would I say? You know, it's because it's hard to like look at yourself sometimes with your prep goggles and be like, do I look okay? Or like, do I not look okay?
It's okay. We're our hardest critiques.
Okay. Well, what other advice do you have, or is there anything we haven't talked about that you wanted to make sure that we shared about your journey?
Let's see. Well, I feel like on this journey, also another thing is that this is my first one that I'm actually showcasing. So my first one, I went off Instagram for 3 months. I didn't.
Oh.
Out of nowhere, I popped up with my show day picture. And I was like, I did a thing.
Okay.
So that was the first one. Second one, I did it, but I never like ever posted like a check-in picture, never posted anything. I would probably just post like a selfie in the mirror that I trained, you know?
Yeah.
Never showed my body at all. And then this one now, I have like a YouTube channel that I'm following week by week. And I'm like putting check-ins on Instagram, even though I took off like 4 weeks from posting, only because like I go back and forth with like posting my check-ins. I'm like, I don't know if I want everyone to see how I look.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I did I guess a ghost prep in 2020 where it was like I just didn't tell anybody I was prepping. I was still prepped and stuff and was like at the gym, whatever. But I never said, I'm prepping for this show, and I didn't post on YouTube about it or anything. I just was like, I was so tired of feeling like I had to, that I need to just like do it for myself and see if I still had the desire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
Yeah.
like, so I
think
think
that's,
yeah, it's good. Okay. It's good. Is so you have to realize if you're only doing this sport for the gram, it's not, that's not what it's for. Like, it's definitely not what it's for. You have to ask yourself, if, social media disappeared, would you still continue to live this lifestyle? And if not, you need to stop.
that's a really good way to view it. And I feel like everyone should think that way with anything in their life. Just like, you should not be living for social media in any way. I know I use my social media as a business tool for growing myself, growing my business.
Yeah.
I get a lot of sponsors that way, and it's all business to me. I don't put my personal life on there. I like to still keep things private. I think you need to have boundaries. Like when I'm with my family, like I'm with my family. I don't think I need to like be on my phone or like check my Instagram. So I feel like it's just business.
Yep.
And I don't know. Everyone uses Instagram differently.
Yep.
But that's what I choose to do.
I like it. Okay. So now we're going to document your journey. So where can we follow you? Like, to give us your handles and plugs if they want to work with you too.
Okay, sure. So I have a few things. So I have my Instagram, which is at NAB_fit__. So NAB__. It's weird when I say it. And then my YouTube channel is Nicole Bonnen, Bonnen. And I have TikTok, but I don't really care about that. And then my website is nabfitness.org.
Okay.
I have like all the programs and everything on there.
Okay, cool. All right. So any final words for us as you're getting ready to get that pro card?
I'm just really excited. I'm happy that I feel this good right now. I just finished my 3-hour workout and I'm just like full of energy right now. So I feel like I'm in a good place. I'm 11 weeks out. I have a little countdown on my fridge. I have 76 days exactly. I feel like I'm good, and I can't wait to continue to showcase my journey with everyone. Hopefully we connect some more, and hopefully we both get our pro cards this year.
Fingers crossed for us both. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you sharing your story. I'm excited to follow along on your journey, and I'm wishing you good luck at your first national show this year.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Of course.